If you're a fan of Pinot Noir, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Bob Paulinski, Master of Wine. In today's video, I'm going to take a deep dive into this iconic grape variety from one source that is phenomenal. We're going to take a deep look at Ata Rangi from Martinborough, New Zealand. Now, also included will be a tasting of two very different expressions of this wine from that same producer. These are wines that are generally available on the international market if you go through a specialty retail source. If you can't find the exact wines being shown here, no worries. I'll provide some other options that you can search out while you're shopping as well. Today's video is being shot at my home away from home in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The wines for this video were purchased at Tong Woh. This is in Petaling Jaya, just outside of Kuala Lumpur. I love this store. It's small, but it's a very nice curated mix that changes often. If you happen to be in this part of the world, it's well worth stopping by. Wine shopping here is generally a very good experience with a heavy focus on France, Italy, Australia, and South America. That said, New Zealand also sees good representation here as well. Prices tend to be higher than many other places around the world, mostly because of the tax rate. And as always with my videos, the topics discussed and the wines shown are solely selected by my own discretion. For starters, a bit about Pinot Noir. For many, it's considered to be the world's single greatest red wine grape variety. I'm certainly in that club as well, but I also think that Pinot Noir is the most difficult wine to shop for. There's a tremendous amount of variability, and I can't tell you how many times I've doled out a premium amount of money and been seriously let down. At the lower end, rarely does opening price point Pinot Noir deliver anything that's worthwhile. My point is the due diligence is very important. Producer, vintage, place of origin, all of these things are critical considerations when shopping for this wine. It's a thin-skinned grape variety that's purplish in color. It grows best in a limited range of places. It shows its true potential in cooler regions. This helps to maintain the aromatic profile and acidity. While Martinborough has a good following, I'll venture to guess that aside from some wine nerds, many outside of Australasia do not realize the full potential of this region. Where is Martinborough? It's at the southern end of the North Island, a short distance from the capital of Wellington. It's a sub-region of Wairarapa. It's an area that has an extended growing season. It's often windy with cool nights. This helps to maintain the vibrancy and freshness of the wines. It accounts for only about 2% of the wine produced in New Zealand, but has a solid export market. It's routinely one of the top performers in the New Zealand wine shows. Over the years, I've had the chance to drink the Ata Rangi wines from time to time, but it wasn't until I moved to Australia that I became absolutely hooked. At that time, I made regular business trips to New Zealand, and I had a chance to taste the Ata Rangi wines over a number of vintages. The consistency is absolutely fantastic, and the wines are always highly expressive. It's a small producer. It's only about 32 hectares in size. They have about 14 different individual vineyard plots. They're certified organic back in 2014, but these are artisanal wines at the highest level. They also make Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, and Chardonnay, but the reputation has very much been built on Pinot Noir. Within New Zealand, virtually every wine is under screw cap, no matter the price point. Within Malaysia, all the bottles will have a tax stamp that goes over the top of the neck. The wine I'm opening is a 2019 Ata Rangi Crimson Pinot Noir. Generally sells for around $25 as a typical retail price. This is a different label design than what I recall, but the color of the wine is spot on. Pale red, some fade as you get out to the rim of the glass. I'm excited about the color because it's exactly what it should be. When tasting Pinot Noir, always take a good look at the color. In today's market, there are many mainstream versions of Pinot Noir that have been doctored up. I call these Frankenstein wines. They've oftentimes been blended with other grape varieties that deepen the color, or there's been some winemaking alchemy that's been used to get more extraction. Pinot Noir should be pale in color, and there should be some fade as you get out to the rim of the glass. The wine is not based on density and power. It's all about the aromatics and having this supple, elegant character. In terms of the aromatics, this wine shines with a cranberry and pomegranate note to it. There's a little spiciness to it as well. The alcohol level on this is 13.5. It shows no alcoholic heat whatsoever. And there's a purity here. There's a good intensity, expressiveness. The aromatics in this wine are very pretty. On the palate, all of those aromatic components that I mentioned can all be found. There's a bright red fruit character, that cranberry, pomegranate carries through, a little bit of spiciness, no overt oak whatsoever. The wine has good presence. There's good weight to it, but it's simple, it's clean, it's pure. It's made in a very direct style. This is the type of Pinot Noir that would be an absolute crowd pleaser. You may notice a touch of condensation on this wine. I popped it in the fridge for about 30 minutes before this tasting. And oftentimes with wines that have primary fruit and those that are fresh and bright and they have this purity, good intensity, chilling the red down just a bit is actually a plus. It'll help to bring out the freshness and the exuberance of the wine, especially with wines that are low in tannin like this one. Next wine up is the 2019 Ata Rangi Pinot Noir. This is the estate wine. There's also several individual vineyard bottlings as well. I chose this specific one because it's excellent and more readily available versus the individual vineyard bottlings. Here we're kicking it up several notches versus the wine that was just tasted. Color is pale, it's slightly cloudy, and this is due to minimal filtration. Retail price on this is generally in that $50 to $60 range. Pinot Noir can express itself in very different ways, but in a broad sense, there are two versions. There's one, like the first wine, which shows a lot of primary fruit. Immediately, it's very appealing. It's fresh, it's bright, clean, very forward, accessible right from the get-go. This wine is very different. The second is deeper, denser. There's more complexity. There's more weight. There's much more breadth and expansiveness in terms of the aromatics of this wine. On the palate, it's a beauty. There's a layered component to it. It's very nuanced, and it shows the full range of what Pinot Noir can bring. And it seems as though with this wine, with each taste, it's evolving and it's changing. To me, this is one of the very cool things about wine. When you get a wine that evolves in the glass over a period of time, it's one of those things that's just magical, and this wine captures that. There is some oak character that comes through on this wine. About a third of the wine was aged in new oak. You do get a little bit of that smoky character, but the oak is very well integrated into the wine. So you can tell that the oak quality was very good. You can tell the fruit quality was also very good at harvest. And this is a wine that was made with a high degree of precision. An absolute stunner. And in terms of character, this wine does not remind me of Burgundy. It's not like the Willamette Valley in Oregon. It's not even like the Central Otago in the southern part of New Zealand. This is Martinborough. It's exactly what it should be. It's very expressive. It's reflective of the place. This is a beauty. Classic pairing with Pinot Noir is duck. In this case, it's Peking duck. BYOB is common in Kuala Lumpur restaurants, usually with no or minimal corkage fee. If you've not yet subscribed, do it right now. Also hit that notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to speed on all things happening with this channel. If you have a comment on Martinborough Pinot Noir or Pinot Noir in general, please post it down below. I try to follow up on each and every one. There's a couple of other videos here in the end screen that may be of interest to you as well. As always, thank you so much for sticking around. I look forward to seeing you again before too long. Cheers.